Just streams 182. The Australia test. As if we can listen to any Australian media without my fucking stream.
No Kings is like a first step. You know, it's like reaching out a hand and saying, come on, there's a room for everybody here. You'll have fun. You'll meet new people.
Yes. And you can protest and look cute while doing it. Listen, get out there and No Kings it. Arrive with 5. Don't go anywhere alone in these autocratic streets.
Yep, the lefties did bring their friends and they were waving Hezbollah flags and Hamas flags, and even the hammer and sickle flags were flying high in the streets of New York. You know, that's the symbol of genuine oppression that has been responsible for tens of millions of deaths around the world.
Working class revolution! Working class revolution!
But back to the nincompoop celebs, and Jane Fonda was back, this time with fellow ageing star Bruce Springsteen. You know, these people are too old to be this stupid.
Guess where we are? Guess who's here?
No Kings.
Do it.
Talking about being too old to be this stupid, leading the New York rally was Robert De Niro. There he is, holding a banner alongside Attorney General Letitia James and Reverend Al Sharpton, and sadly, Robert De Niro decided to give a speech. Now, in the past, he has embarrassed himself trying to speak off the cuff, so this time he wrote a speech. It didn't go well.
How can this be happening? Look at the power of the No Kings National Uprising. No. Look at the power of the No Kings National Uprising. Afraid of Trump?
I was just about to say,
Please.
it's so sad with them parading
No,
these
they
old
should be
actors
more
that are
afraid of us.
Get paid.
Okay, let's give him another go. He is an actor. He should be able to read from a script.
Tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None, except Trump. He must be stopped, and he must be stopped now. Amen. And that's what No Kings is all about, because he can't do all the up things that he's been doing without the collusion of Congress and the goons in his administration.
This guy is railing against democracy. Sounds a little bit insurrection-y to me. He would be dangerous if he wasn't such an unserious clown.
It's diabolical. Afraid of Trump? Please. No, they should be more afraid of us.
Yeah. That's right.
Because we still believe in the core American values of justice, equality, decency, and kindness.
Just zero self-awareness from that guy. What a way to destroy your legacy by showing what a delusional, hateful dimwit you are when you were once known simply as a great actor. Now, why are they marching? Because they're crazy, hysterical, and dangerously misinformed. In other words, their lefties losing. And this woman is convinced that there are death camps on American soil. Seriously.
I gotta Google this fucking game.
Camps on American soil!
Can I ask what you're saying?
Jesus Christ.
No death camps on American soil!
No cats?
No death
this guy's...
camps!
Okay, so that's why you're here protesting today?
Yeah, because those camps are death camps. Camps are raping them. They doing what Hitler did.
It's like making fun of retarded
So
people.
they can shove it up their little tussies and smoke it.
So where are these camps at?
Why don't you just write everything in gibberish and I'll just Google everything in the game? Like, you know what I mean? What's the fucking point?
The Florida Keys.
Four-staged bar. Achievement rank
I
4
was
is
just
required to
in
unlock
the
the highest
Florida
tier of
Keys.
loot
Didn't
reward.
see any death
Mythic,
camps,
uniques,
plenty of
and
cocktails,
session
tourists,
Achieve
roosters
by
walking
activating
around.
beacons and
But
grand
back
beacons.
to our
Spawn
celebs, and it's not just your
to spawn
A-listers
linked
joining these
monster hordes, then
pathetic
defeating all
gatherings. The
enemies and passing them
D-listers
to
are
gain
there
large chunks of
too. They're all
attunement.
part of this No
While the
Kings
afflicted enemies marked with an orange
movement,
hourglass on
and
the
that
map
includes soap
also provide
actress and
attunement.
failed
Grand
Real
Soul
Housewives of
Visitors at
Beverly
the end
Hills
of each
cast
floor.
member Eileen
The end of each
Davidson,
floor of what?
who's been scared for the past 10 years. Well, except for the few years where Biden was in charge.
I have been feeling really scared.
Actually, for like the last 10 years, if you get my drift, on and off. But especially right now.
Leveling and
There's a lot
endgame
of weird
item
things
farming.
going on.
It is
This war in
accessed by
Iran
the
that nobody
Spear
voted
Vizier
for, and yet
located
here
in
we
Upper
are
Karas
at
and is
war.
located
I
by
mean,
completing
hell,
the reunion
the stuff with the
campaign.
TSA, God bless them.
Jesus Christ. Spear
Minneapolis, the
Vizier,
killings
Upper
there.
Karas.
Epstein files, the list is endless, and that's why it's so scary, right? It just seems like you can't see the light of day.
And the D-list celebs aren't just taking part in No Kings rallies. They're bragging about being annoying Karens, harassing ICE agents. Here is Busy Phillips explaining ICE was in her neighbourhood on her street. She was so scared.
ICE was in my neighborhood, an apartment building on my street, and I just stood there and was annoying. I was just an annoying white woman, and then they brought women to the front. I was just like, "What are you doing? Why are you just standing there waiting at the door?" I have a daughter. I'm a single mother. I can't, and I just was like annoying them. Yes. And the guy, they weren't talking to me. They were like covered faces. They're like, "Ma'am," and I was like, "You guys don't seem like police. I don't know what's going on. This is scary."
Karas Bazaar?
I feel scared.
The reverse Karen is such a gift to our society right now.
Yeah. Joining me now is Newsweek senior editor-at-large, Josh Hammer. Josh, what can you say about that? But tell me about these nationwide No Kings protests.
I know I've been there before. I get
what
it.
What were they primarily against? Is it the war against the Iranian regime, against ICE, or everything Trump?
Is entered via the Spirit Reserve.
Yeah, well, Rita, no one really knows. That's kind of the whole problem, isn't it? I mean, these people are just doing the whole performative outrage thing for the entire purpose of being performatively outraged. They're doing it because it's kind of cathartic for them, frankly. They really have no principles, no values. They probably have no social life, probably have no personal life, frankly. They probably have no spiritual life. They really have no life, period.
I'll just pause this for a second. This is supposed to be considered the fucking end game shit. But it's nowhere, right? That's supposed to be the end game farming. Okay, so if this is important and this is end game farming, why when I look it up, it's like go to City of Karas, go to Upper Karas. Nothing says City of Karas, nothing says Upper Karas. It's fucking Karas Bazaar, waypoint. It's in the middle of fucking the whole continent of fucking Nahantu. What the fuck is Nahantu? Was that in the books? You know what I mean? I go, where's Karas? Oh, it must be in the Karas. Oh, let me look for Karas. Oh, I can't see Karas. Oh, because it's Karas to get to the Spirit Brazier that allows you to continue the... You have to go to Karas Bazaar in the middle of Nahantu. That sound cool? Sounds cool. It's actually really stupid and complicated. Why don't they... I get it. They're like, oh, you played the quest, so now you should, on top of the other 210 hours of the game, you should remember that one quest that you did, right? That tells you how to do this. And this is super important, but we won't highlight it for you. The fuck is this? Tributes. I do have tributes. Let's try this. Yeah, let's just... This will be the second time we do this. I just want to see how this works. Max attunement means I gotta...
I need more time.
Same monsters at the beacon.
I need more time.
It's supposed to be stacked. Putting up stacks of on
I need more time.
Got time. Fire resistance.
I'm not ready for that. need more time.
I am not ready for that. I am not ready for that.
I need more time. I need more time.
I am not ready for that.
Fuck.
I am not ready for that.
I need more time.
Catch the fucking brazier.
I am not ready for that. I am not ready for that.
I need more time.
I am not ready for that.
Bro, fuck off.
more
What is
time.
going on? What am I doing?
I need more time.
Oh, you're killing me. All my timer fucks.
I need more time.
Yo, give me that achievement, you bitch.
I need more time. I need more time.
A minute and a half for the boss.
I am not ready for that.
Just fucking cook it in 5 seconds. Yeah, no, I did it to him. Or less than touch it. Nice, dude. Thank you. Nice. Did I already get that thing though? Yeah, I already have it. I already have it. I said I had the ascension rings. What the fuck? Something's supposed to be helping me stack vulnerable, which I'm not, which is not good. Missing a key part of my shits. 7 minutes. Farm this for a little bit, 7 minutes. Okay. Not a max. We're not maxed out. We could probably do a decent amount of damage. Just gotta avoid the butch.
Ready for that. I am not ready for that.
I need more time. I need more time.
I am not ready for that.
I need more time. More time.
We're good. We're not missing shit. I considered it.
I am not ready for that. I need more time.
I need time to do that.
I need more time. I am not ready for that. I am not ready for that.
I need more time.
I need more time. Ready for that.
time to do that.
At least I can put my skills to use.
Sorry, Blood Mark is unavailable in the PvP area. Okay. I thought I understood the game. I don't understand the game.
It is done.
It's a great collection. Jesus Christ. I have 100k fucking almost 25k of the way there. Did make quite a few boils, I shouldn't have. Yeah, go back here. I want to take part in the event. Bloody Lair. What do I have to do to make myself bloodied?
Not in town.
Does another player have to be actually literally be in here? You can't just make yourself bloodied like so. Ceremonial suck. Yeah, I got you. Hurry up and die for fuck's sake.
I need more time.
It's cool animation, bro. Nobody gives a shit. It's trying to be official. Just locking his wings. Made the end fucking feasible, and yeah, we can pay attention to this stupid fucking death end.
I need more time. I need more time. I am not ready for that. I need more time. I need more time. I am not ready for that. Destroy! I need time to do that. I need more time. I need time to do that. I am not ready for that.
Last time I did this with a buddy, we got K. That's not, yeah, last time I did this with Buddy, we got 200,000. Literally 200,000. Blood, whatever.
I need more time.
Is someone there? So dark. Cold. Please stay. Grandfather was supposed to walk me home.
I need time to do that. I need more time. I need more time. I am not ready for that. I need more time.
Where are you?
I need time to do that. I need more time.
I didn't know this was like escort. I didn't realize I had to sit beside it. Hey. I didn't realize I had to stay like within. Like, I had to fucking touch the guy's fucking. I had to hold the kid's fucking hand the whole time. PvP unavailable. Isn't this? This literally says it's a PvP.
I am not ready for that.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Cause another situation where I think I know the game. I fucking have no idea what the fuck you're about. soon as I think I got a grasp on things, doesn't make sense. Oh, I go to the center. Every time I go to farm that, I'm gonna get 250,000. No. Does a different thing every time. Okay, cool. Very sick. Accomplish Slaughterhouse.
I need more time. I need time to do that. More time.
Penitent. This is the deceiver. This is Revenant. Revenant is that. And slaughterhouses. Okay. That's not. Slaughterhouse with mastery. What the fuck is with mastery? You run these pretty good, so.
Fresh meat. Not
that city down. They're not chasing all the way. You die. Nice if they could count the fucking wander there. Oh, it's like 200. How much time I got? 1 minute left. I just avoid them if I want to keep going. Is that how that works? That's how you do that. To do 25 of them. Nice. Let's fucking do it. I ain't never scared. And the other one's just kill. Okay, that was the top tier one, is kill 300 of those dudes, which was not really that hard. Actually, like running these. Okay, so now that I know what I'm doing, I don't really have to pay attention to this. So just run these as normal. Just run. Run as normal. I think the best way to do this is find the most efficient route around the map, right? If you're running. Piss everyone off. And then make sure you run in a big crowd so you at least keep the kill streak going, right? Make sure you get a big enough crowd of all these assholes. Kill everyone. 2 shots like that. Get your 200 kills in 5 seconds like that. I gotta end my fucking party, boy. Sorry. Now I'm gonna run away from you and kill all the rest of you buddies. Get me, Superman! Slow! Save all your guys! You don't necessarily have to clean out the whole fucking map, but kinda wanna. You know, if you're having to do it. This isn't the whole map, there's still fucking guys out
I cannot put that anywhere.
Okay, teleport back in, or is that gonna be gone now? Not like any of those are ancestral, but it looks like you can go back in.
Let's go.
Nothing I need, nothing I really need. can't see anything I need. But we should be doing this for efficiency's sake. Does he mean to take someone on with him?
This will do nicely.
Level is he? Oh, 146. He might be good. I don't know. He might know his shit.
Some steel you need. Better than starting from nothing.
No, I don't. Yeah, retard crew. Best friends.
Thanks. You have trained well.
May the light show you mercy in death.
Hello.
Goodbye. I need help. Use some assistance. Aid would be welcome.
Impressive.
Impressive. Very funny. Okay, classic Diablo. If only we could spam that. Help! Help me! Generate singing swans. We could try to do this. This is a cursed. Curse quest. Was I on track? Oh yeah, we were smashing to slaughter slouses. Actually, let's keep doing that because we got so many others to get rid of. Oh shit. Oh right. Again, the items were weren't ancestral, so it's not a huge loss. It's just essentially just materials we kind of gave up. Yeah, we can get that this guy finishes sentence.
Because they're just a bunch of flaming, stinking losers. And this is basically their way of making them feel self-entitled and ultimately go to sleep at night thinking that they have shown it to the man. Because as you correctly point out, I actually could not tell you. I think some of these people think they're protesting.
All right, as much as I like Australia, we're going to go over the boys.
Anyway, there you go. That's good enough. That was not
I don't know what that massive flag was at the front. I didn't quite see it.
It's Palestinian.
A lot of Palestine flags. That was I would say that was the most common flag. Something to do with, I can't remember what the phrase said, something like Free Palestine. Actually, I think it did say Free Palestine. Imaginative.
Yeah. It's, Wab Canoe was the only NDP leader that showed up. Wab is the only one praising Abby Lewis. The rest of them are let's listen in on Wab Canoe with one of his recent speeches here as he's going on.
No American child from the blue collar or the middle class should have to die in Iran. Let the Epstein class fight the Epstein war.
What a sophisticated What a sophisticated idea. That's top shelf. No.
This here, it seems like this goes throughout history. The socialist dream, to put it that way, and the socialist reality. It's been tried in so many places. Like, you can just point to one that has success. You know, if we look at North Korea and South Korea, there's two definite, like, line in the sand. Which one's more prosperous? North Korea, South Korea. Which one has more people? East Germany, West Germany. When they drew the line in the sand there. Which one did better? West Germany, East Germany? You just, I mean,
there's one that's even closer to the ball than that, which is a little bit more contentious, which is the Republic of China, aka Taiwan, and the People's Republic. Taiwan is richer than the People's Republic in terms of just
freedom.
Yeah, freedom and human development and all those sorts of things. Because China nowadays, often people point to, they say, well, they say China's got the most people out of poverty in the shortest period of time ever, and that is fundamentally a socialist system, communist. It's obviously been modified, but it's still basically a socialist system. And then I'm just saying, compare that to Taiwan, it's literally, you know, that is where the old elite, China, that's where they went after they were defeated by the communists. They went to Taiwan and they built that society. It's richer and better in almost every way.
We can look at one of the best case studies of recent years. Venezuela was the richest country in South America. Then after whatever you want
gotta
to
get
call
faster or something. Point wasted, dude.
They destroyed it. And 8 million people fled Venezuela. Many people wiped out all the wealth.
Dude, what?
That's Abby's dream here. And listen to some of the stuff that went on there at this event here. You had to have a card if you wanted to cut the line and speak. This card system was absolutely. I thought it was like somebody doing like AI jokes, but here you go. Here's just a taste.
I see that we are 1 minute ahead of schedule, and so I'm going to get out of here. The balloting co-chairs are returning, I believe. Now balloting co-chairs. There's a point. Let's hear the point on microphone 1.
I'm sorry, just real quick, point of personal privilege. I understand there's very little time and for delegates to speak, but early on the mic, it's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card and speak up, speak to somebody in front of me in line and ask, hey, this pertains to multiple intersecting parts of my lived experience. I'd like to speak. I was rejected when I talked, and it's frustrating when these are my rights being directly under attack right now in Alberta, and that a cisgender woman had spoken over me. And I understand her rights are important too. This pertains to her too, but I don't know. I hope that in the future the federal NDP will also have a broader interpretation of the equity cards for speakers. That's all. Thank you.
I will invite delegates to assist me in better using the card by forming a straight line behind the microphone. With a prominently displayed equity card, if I see speakers ahead of you who are not holding a card prominently, it would be wrong of me to guess about their gender identity, and I will come to you. This applies so far, according to your rules, for gender identities other than a dude, but it is open to us to change our rules as we like as we move forward into the bright and golden future. Thank you, friends. Let's hear the balloting co-chairs.
That's good. That's good.
Someone says here, how can anyone look at this and think these people should be allowed to govern anyone? I would just add to that. Yeah, when they can't even begin to govern themselves on an individual level, never mind their little group. I mean, I kind of agree with Ezra Levant here, where he said I used to laugh at this sort of thing when I was at university. I don't know how old Ezra is, but to think that it was going on then when he was at university. But when I was at university, yeah, I mean, critical theory was starting to become critical practice at that point when I was at university, and I did laugh at it. I remember a lot of the time, even though I was basically a communist myself, I still found it quite funny. But what Ezra says here, they grow up and they become teachers, bureaucrats, lawyers, judges. Yeah, absolutely they do. And they do things of much more importance than leading the NDP, like party for the extreme left.
This is not that bad. Go like this.
They do things like become judges, as he said. And they do things like become really senior bureaucrats who make massive decisions. And they become politicians in parties with power, like the Liberal Party. So, as much as it is kind of funny to look at these strange people, it's also true that you can't really afford to laugh, because they will, if we continue on our current trajectory, they will ruin your lives in some way at some point.
I mean, they've obviously leaked into the CBC, CP Global as well in the way that they tell stories. We've seen that over the years. We've seen a lot of this leak into like mainstream media, and that's why a lot of people turn away from mainstream media. It's good for us to come here. But listen to the gaslighting in this, and some of the reporters. Like if you're working for mainstream media and you're losing your mind, you can reach out to us. You have to leave that cesspool, because I know some of you are really troubled with what you're doing in the messaging. Listen to this reporter even. As I say, listen to the gaslighting from Web.
We are 1 minute.
See if you can find it. But we'll go on to this. We'll come back to the WAB. But Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck declines Avi Lewis's meeting request there in a letter, and said that you can put up the main piece of the letter there. And he says, your approach has taken aim at our resources, not only taken aim at our resources, but at the people who work in these sectors. Basically saying, you know, can you put up the bigger screen of that? Yeah. No, it's the next image there. There you go. So, I mean, they push back on it, and it says, when you publicly reverse your position on these matters and show willingness to try and understand the realities of the province of thousands of Saskatchewan workers who rely on these industries to feed the families, I'll meet with you. In the second image there, the next image. There you go, that's the end piece. And that's from Carla Beck, leader of the official opposition. I mean, you know, when you're kind of in government and you're kind of, you're an official opposition, you gotta be a little more realistic if you ever wanna form government, right? Like, Avi Lewis gets to say whatever he wants at this point. But so he can appease that base of people in the room there. The ones with the cards. You know, holding up different color cards.
Yeah, well, he was going on.
Is it like a kindergarten class where everybody gets a different colored card? They couldn't even organize the cards in the room. Any luck?
They get cards. Kindergartners get cards that correspond to how they're feeling, don't they? Like, I've got this card, that means that I'm really anxious today or something. And yeah, that's kind of what they're doing here.
Listen to Wab Canoe and listen for the gaslighting here.
I want to save you money. So when it comes to standing up to the big grocers, we'll do it. When it comes to standing up to the big tech companies, we'll do it. But most importantly, when it comes to putting cash back in your project, back in your pockets, we're doing it.
But it's like the gas tax, which cut $1 billion.
Which was the most important thing that a provincial government ever did in the history of Manitoba, because it gave power back to the middle class and to the low income.
No, it didn't. You didn't replace the subsidy for public transit, 50-50 funding. That's a working class issue.
We're making transit free in this year's budget for people who are children and youth.
For kids going to high school. So I think there is going to be some room for you to have some good conversation with Avi Lewis.
You know, they say parts of truth. That's what I mean. It's just pieces of truth that kind of get out there. Oh, my bus is free. No, you didn't.
I think that was the Toronto Star. What's she called? I think her name is Tonda with Charles. I think that's who that was. Yeah, I reckon that was her. Which is interesting because the Toronto Star is obviously about as far as it gets in terms of the main news outlet. The furthest to the left. There she is, laying down the law.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the reporters are saying, I think we have a job to do. Like, look around. Some people are, especially if you're out there in the field, you're seeing what's going on. You're literally seeing it. You know, the Laurentian elites, they don't see it. Like, we show you this. We're going to show you the discrepancies here as we show you Mark Carney arriving at the Juno. Let's look at this. The arrival of Mark Carney in his entourage at the Juno. Don't forget, worry about your carbon footprint.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, a dude who is well protected. They even brought snipers in today. So, North 60,
that's good. The elites show up, party like it. And listen to this, and again, here's, oh, you gotta watch it. I won't even set it up. You just gotta watch it.
Prime Minister. And then I saw him posing with the cast of Heated Rivalry, and just my nervous system just relaxed. Your next act, I'm such a huge fan of this group.
That's good. All those people doing this couldn't even understand a word of that speech at that one. I can almost guarantee it.
I'm sure they didn't even listen to it.
I have no idea what they said. Most people don't know what they said. Even that lady that whoever announced that. I don't want to misgender the person. I have no idea. It wasn't Justin Bieber. Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell gave a shout out to China. I mean,
yeah, it's just.
I didn't watch this. I don't think anyone did. But,
and then,
I haven't had
check this out. Like Mark Carney, he's definitely his ego. Look at this clip here, as he stands in front of the red carpet. It's just like a couple seconds. Nope. You just put up a picture. There you go. Is he standing? Second clip is he standing there doing this little pose. They're like standing there awkwardly. Mr. Burns.
weird. Or like, it's like almost like a Family Guy character. Or like Madame Tussauds. Very odd. But I would just say about those SUVs, anyone that lives in Ottawa or visits Ottawa or whatever will know that they park outside his office for too long. Like near farm. Quite a lot. Just to add to this idea of like Captain Carbon and whatever. Like, God knows, if you include that and all the planes and everything, what is his like personal carbon you know, allowance or whatever you want to say? How much CO2 is he personally responsible for putting out into the atmosphere? It must just be absolutely enormous. And this is a chap that's spent much of his professional life lecturing peasants who, you know, can barely afford to put gas in their cars to emit a tiny amount of CO2.
And here's none other than Joni Mitchell.
I cannot do that here.
Praising our fearless leader.
Anyway, this man is a blessing. You guys are so fortunate.
I cannot do that.
Anyway.
That's good. Good. His ego. Definitely got a couple shots in the arm the last couple of days. Well, Canadian stand-in again. Record lineups for food banks with empty shelves.
Wow, he's
saying record number standing in food bank lineup, and now the shelves are empty.
Yeah.
Now what? Now what?
But also another Canadian buggered off to America basically as soon as she could, and then comes back to visit with the likes stick her oar in about politics. The politics of a country that she no longer primarily resides in. So the consequences of her political intervention are obviously, they're not for her. And this, how long is that list? Neil Young? Well, Neil Young doesn't piss them off. It's just talks about trees in BC and stuff like that. But also, what's his face? Austin Powers, Mike Myers. It's just, you'd think that these people would have self-awareness and they would just say, they would just be like, just about to say, oh, actually, hold on.
For our country.
I live in America.
I'm more famous and more influential.
That would be crass.
I'm just little old Mike Myers. My career hasn't got quiet enough, and I just want to put a final note.
Thank you to Canada for the contribution to independent media. Global elites earn US dollars. We earn Canadian dollars.
Let me just take the get a load of this guy can and just flip it on myself.
They live in
Mr. Carney.
The media here in Canada. There's putting more evidence, more receipts. And Avi Lewis, the new leader of the NDP. I wonder what Don Davies is actually thinking as he's standing up there listening to this nonsense. Like again, if you just think about the message, like if you dissect the message, the solution to big government, which got us here, is bigger government, according to Avi Lewis. But it hasn't worked anywhere in the world. That's a solution. The solution to big government is bigger government. The solution to the suppression of our natural wealth is even more suppression of our natural wealth. They just don't make sense. They just don't make sense. A heat pump in every home. That's like the old saying. Remember the old politicians? A chicken in every pot. A heat pump in every home. Where shall the electricity come from, Avi? Where shall it come from?
Solar panels. Silly.
From China. And here it is. There's a No Kings protest that was going on again, and this one in New York. And what's the flag that is everywhere? It's the hammer and sickle. Such a great...
How funny is that though? Like, I'm glad that I went on that little rant earlier about the history of socialism, because what is the hammer and the sickle? What does that represent? Agriculture, so farmers, peasants, and in the industrial, the proletariat. That's the hammer, the sickles for the farmers. Look at these people. Do these people look like they even know what a sickle is? Never mind how to use it. Do they look like they could even lift a hammer? They just... This is the thing, like, if you actually read about the history of socialism, the history of communism, if it's about anything, it's about men and women in factories and in the fields, just like building stuff. It's like steam and coal and fire and metal and things like that. It's all the things that these people spend their lives complaining about, and saying that they want to get rid of, and then they fly that flag. It's like, they're just such pauses. It's farce, isn't it? It's just absolutely farcical.
And that's why we're pointing it out, because it's just absolutely... I don't even know if I have a word for it, but it's flabbergasting, stunning. And,
stupendous. What was it, Jason Jakes?
Stupefying, I think that's a good word. Yeah, we'll take that from Jason Jakes. Stupefying.
But I also I want to highlight, sorry, we were looking at that Avi Lewis button thing, and it was Holly Dawn saying, Avi Lewis says, Canadians are at war with a corrupt elite he blames for inflation. I just wanted, something I didn't say earlier, I just wanted to highlight, this guy is a populist. Some would even say a conspiracy theorist. And I just think it's important to use that same language that's only ever used by the establishment. It's only ever used to dismiss people on the right. He is the mirror image of those people who's on the left. And he's talking about this secret, nefarious forces that control your life, and I'm the one that's going to fix it for you. It's just straight up populism, but like a sinister version of populism and conspiracy thinking. But is he going to be called a conspiracy theorist by anyone, do you think? Rosie, can I come over there?
And this is the biggest scandal in the Liberal Party right now. and it is not getting the attention it deserves. We're going to listen to this clip here first, though.
Good to have you here.
Good to see you, Beth.
So why is this garnering such a reaction up on Parliament Hill?
Well, a few pick a reaction. I mean, this was in
Hey, Beth, how's it going trying to serve the fucking
border of China? And the way he was challenging the witness was almost skeptical.
Every day I see you,
and I mean, as you know, the audience knows, this is no normal MP. This is a floor-crosser. The Conservatives fairly in the past after he crossed the floor. Some conservative circles have raised questions about the China issue with Mr. Ma in terms of him perhaps being too close in some way. There's no way to tell, but you know, this was an odd line of questioning to be charitable, I think. I gather there's going to be a statement from him later. I thought it was telling that in the House he didn't answer for himself. So that's a sign that they're trying to contain some damage here.
And we know that our
come on, you can kill.
various local MPs, the Parliament Secretary, for example, to the Foreign Affairs Minister.
Okay, I had to
he said this doesn't change the way
got tied to time.
They have decided through a number of votes, I should say, but also certain legislation that they have that they are to, condemn forced labor in China, that it exists in China. Like, we've had debates before here on Parliament Hill about that. It felt like a thing of the past, but tonight makes it feel like perhaps not.
Well, and the other thing is, Ms. Johnston was asking about EVs and cars, and have there been questions asked as we open up our country to more Chinese cars about this issue? And Mr. Ma's line of questioning seemed to be, I'm not buying it. And afterwards, I get, well, she'll tell you about it in a moment or so. But I mean, I talked to her right after this, and afterwards she was like they never show you forced labor because you can't, is China actually...
We talked about this extensively on Friday. And, of course, they're not going to show something wide open there for everybody to come through. Like Dean said on Friday. More to know that
and also the way he was saying, like, he was almost skeptical the way he was asking questions. He was asking questions. It was almost in the realm of bureaucracy in the white-collar world. That was like outright open violence. In the office world where everybody's passive aggressive. That was he was angry. You could see he was angry. He let himself go, and he was giving us stupid yes/no questions, and then interrupting her when she said that's in a very kind way. She said, like, that's not a very good question, and tried to answer it sensibly. I mean, he did say I'm being slightly generous here, and obviously he's going to be like that because he works for CTV. But yeah, I just wanted to point out how generous that was. He was being a real jerk.
Well, the Chinese embassy has responded well. China has joined Liberal MP Michael Mullen attacking the Canadian expert who told the House Commons Committee on forced labor using China's production. The Chinese embassy said Canada said talk of forced labor is a blatant lie peddled by people who dislike China. Ma was widely condemned for his aggressive questioning on Thursday, prompting him to release a statement claiming he'd been talking about the Chinese metropolis of Shenzhen rather than the province of
Shenzhen.
You can do these names. You can Xinjiang. An excuse that some influential groups, including the Canadian press, need to accept without question.
Still are accepting that. Their latest story on it. The Canadian press's latest story on it says, oh, and then he corrected it. He explained the misunderstanding. The Canadian press, ladies and gentlemen, what an organisation, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Glorious.
Despicable.
By the way, sorry, just this statement from it's worth reading if you can be bothered to read communist disinformation. It's only a few paragraphs. It's worth reading. One of the lines is, the Chinese government has always adhered to a people-centered philosophy, attaching great importance to its citizens' rights, including their labour rights. That's the kind of statement this is. This is the kind of government that the Communist Party operates in China. The Communist Party, by the way, if you're wondering what the Communist Party is, just one thing that they've done in the last 50 or 60 years.
20 million
the
people.
Great Famine, in which literally nobody even knows how many people died. Some of the estimates are like, would blow your head off, like 40 million people. You know, that's people-centered.
You're burning
At
bodies.
least Tiananmen Square wasn't that long ago. The crushing of Hong Kong. People can remember
him in your
seeing
backyard.
that.
You got no room for him anymore.
In the news. It's just, it's a lot to swallow, isn't it? But they almost don't expect you to believe it. They're just saying it. I don't know. It almost feels like they find it funny or something. They're just like trolling.
Yeah.
But Michael Ma saying, oh no, I didn't say Xinjiang. I said Shenzhen. Like,
Shenzhen,
and then the Canadian press, they like, yes,
like,
my
yeah,
lord.
Sure. Yeah,
okay, I'll fix that for you right away.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you're dealing with such a cooperative elite as the Canadian elite, I don't know, maybe it's actually worth it. The elite is so unbelievably stupid and curious.
I'm actually, you know what, I'm gonna
you have to work. It'll go along with.
Yeah, work for the Chinese government. Are you guys gonna come after me? It seems like
deception.
Seems like you guys were.
You put this clip in here of Friends Club Field campaign from March 12th.
I just want to make more than $40,000 a year. Is that okay?
I didn't put this in.
You guys discourage that? I'm not too sure. I'm just concerned.
We'll leave it go.
Always happy to see champagne. Pop the champagne, everyone.
We won't do it. But we do have the CTV clip here.
Is that bad? I'm not
explaining, and this is what Ian and I said on Friday. But this isn't just Michael Ma going rogue. Like, they're prepped for this. This is the Liberal Party position. This is. Well, you saw that in the committee too, where the other liberals were trying to make sure they took the word China out.
Do they have any discussion
about that? With global, because their Chinese overlords don't want to see that word China. Remember what this President Xi did for Mark Carney? Do not embarrass the Chinese government. Listen to them.
Mel, your former comms director, I mean, this is something that probably lands on your lap like a grenade, and you have to try and figure it out. But, you know, even though we're going into a break week next week, so, you know, the Prime Minister won't probably have to face any questions on it in the House of Commons, this is still not something that they want to have to deal with.
No, and this one stinks to the heart because when you think about Michael Ma and who he is, he was a so he knows full well what the conservative policy has been for years on the Uyghur genocide back in the 30s. Unequivocally, a genocide in China against Uyghur Muslims right now, and there has been for years. It's extremely well documented, and the conservatives have been advocating for years to raise more awareness about this and to ensure that trade with China does not include items that have been made as a result of forces of so Michael Ma absolutely knew that was the reality and knew that as a conservative. Now he's a liberal. I've seen a lot of spin from liberals on this, that he's like, oh, he's new, he doesn't really know how committee works, so stop is just a mistake. No, it's not. There is committee prep, okay? Before every committee meeting, Congress members go to prep, where they talk about what their preference is going to be. He would have talked about this, which means this was the strategy.
What's the recommended flavor today?
And he went rogue.
Did my house don't get involved?
And there should be some very serious questions asked about who told him.
We have our team that we can join, or China. Everyone playing for China is getting paid.
Yet.
Seems like a good team.
Mark Carney, he sat down for what was it, an hour? He sat down there out east with the liberal Seamus. They should be Seamus. And you're great. No, you're great. No, you're better. This question, not asked. And this is the question that should be the first question asked. What do you have to say about Michael Ma? Not asked.
And I mean, but look at the Chrystia Freeland episode where, you know, she contracted to work with a foreign government and wasn't even gonna step down until there was a hullabaloo about it. I mean, what scandal that was. Still is. That's a gigantic, mega scandal. That's a giga scandal. And that just dribbled away. That just disappeared. So the sort of urchins that run the party, you know, people with actual power who help design strategies and things like that and make the big decisions. They'll be looking at this and they'll say, the media in this country is so crap. We don't need to have to do anything. Just wait a little bit and it'll burn out. And they'll forget about it, just like they did with the Supreme. And it'll be fine.
Somebody just said that we got over 777 people watching, and Melanie Jolie's here, someone said. Kirstia Freeland, friend of the show, usually here, but I'm not sure if she's here now.
I don't think she can get access in the UK. She's doing Starlink.
Michael Ma wiped his Twitter, though. Similar to our friend there, Mr. Mudd, out there in Alberta. Blocked his Twitter.
Has he actually unlocked his Twitter yet? No, he still hasn't. Nick Generou's Twitter, still these posts are protected. What a slimy organisation. Do they just wear hazmat suits when they go to Liberal conventions? How can you deal with it? You're not going to see what I see because you're an approved follower.
He still exists and is invisible when he dies.
Mr. Desert Fox. Only approved followers get to see his feed. I don't follow.
Here's Tim Hodgson here, and he had this to say. We don't need to have public discussions on where we disagree.
Where are they?
Make that clear. So, old Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes, I see nothing. I hear nothing. I know nothing. Let's get some Chinese.
I was, what, 11?
Just repulsive. And, you know, the Liberal Party absolutely presents itself as like the adult party, doesn't it? The responsible party. Whereas the Tories are just like kids having tantrums, don't understand how things really work. And they would say the same about the Greens and all the rest of them. How is this adult? The main thing, the main characteristic required to be considered an adult is to take responsibility, surely. It's responsibility. It all comes down to responsibility. If you want to be a parent, you want to be a manager or something in a company, you want to have any sort of difficult adult job, it's all about responsibility. Where's the Liberal Party now when it comes to responsibility? Do they take their responsibility even a little bit seriously? Do they have any sense of responsibility?
Still got some good in it.
I think based on recent evidence, the answer is no. And then Mark Carney, the ultimate adult in the room, he's so super smart and adult, just ignoring this, nothing to say about it, doesn't take decisive action. Not the first time either that one of his MPs has done something absolutely repellent, and he's just ignored it and let it go, rather than doing the responsible adult thing and getting rid of this person. It was pure poison.
Well, better yet, Sam Cooper put this out. International condemnations mount for Michael Ma there. Carney plans a $1,775 a head fundraiser co-hosted by none other than Michael Ma himself. So Carney's going to go party with Michael Ma.
Everyone's complaining about him being compromised. Very nice.
Why isn't the media that has access to and all of these people not just going to town on this? Like, why? This is a scandal of epic proportions, and this is something like you could go watch Ian on Friday in the beginning of our show, and I think we cut it up. It's something that makes you almost feel dirty that you want to go shower. It's that vile. And yet,
sad times.
Canadian media, the ones that get access, seem to be relatively silent on the matter. But, you know, when it came to a CEO of Air Canada that has a, you know, like pretty much unblemished record for safety of the airline, didn't speak French in his condolence message there.
Yeah.
He's been forced into retirement.
Wow.
So he's going to take early retirement.
Yeah, he's sick of it.
That's what they did to him.
Got a shit ton of money. Why would...
Yeah.
You got a shit ton of money. Fuck that. Let the fucking system rot.
Isn't it amazing that it happened at the same time? Because it really does allow you to see their priorities. It gives you a little glimpse at their moral code. Their moral code is...
Let it all rot, top down.
You know, if you don't speak French very well, or at all, so therefore you deliver a condolence video to the families of two dead pilots in English. Right, that's on the one hand, something that happens. On the other hand, you berate and attack one of the foremost experts in Canada on China. And you try and... Amazingly, I still can't believe this is what he did, but you try and cast doubt on the idea that people in Xinjiang have been persecuted, basically, and put in forced labour and other atrocities of that variety. So these two events happen at about the same time, and all the attention is on the guy who doesn't speak French very well. I mean, that really is astonishing, isn't it? Is there a better illustration of their sort of moral hierarchy, how they see the world? I don't want to seem like I'm just having to go at the Liberals all the time, but they are in power, and that's kind of why we do it. Unlike the other parties who are just ridiculous, like the NDP. Though we do occasionally have a slap of those on. But I just have to say about this group in particular, this organisation, the Liberal Party, this current iteration of the Liberal Party, is just beneath contempt. This is just an absolute sewer of an organisation that literally doesn't know how to do the right thing. Doesn't know what's good. Doesn't know what's bad.
I am not ready.
You know, it's almost like a dangerous institution because it's so broken ethically.
Someone is saying that they took Michael Maw out of this event. Does that mean that he has to sit in the back room with this plate of lobster? Mark Carney and Chris D'Entremont went out there this weekend and visited a lobster catch. They selected all the lobster for this $1,700 plate. This is something that was being put on by him.
I am not ready.
And now, someone's saying, I don't know. That doesn't, even if he isn't at this event, it doesn't change that this needs to be addressed. Michael Maw should be forced into resignation.
I need more time.
There's no way this should stay. There's no way. If politics in Canada is serious, there's no way that
I am not ready for that.
In fact, man, we're talking about China here, for God's sake. We're not talking about some random country in Africa where forced labour exists, but it's a random country in Africa that doesn't do anything to anyone. It's just internally troubled. This is China. This is a country that interferes in our country, in our elections, and everything, our economy, in so many ways. And as Mark Carney himself said, is the primary adversary of Canada. And quite a frightening adversary as well, if you look at how powerful it is. We're not just talking about any country, you know.
I am not ready.
You have to bear that in mind. We're talking about pretty much what might as well be our only enemy, really. Our only enemy of any significance. The only other one would be Russia. But China's like many, many, many levels above Russia. And that's really important, I think, because like this gets to the heart of what countries are for and what governments are for. Governments are supposed to protect the people they rule from hostile outsiders. There's only really one country of hostile outsiders that poses a serious threat to us, and it's China, and that's who's concerned here, and that's who excuses are being made for. It gets to that point where it's like you failed at your most basic responsibility as a government.
I do want to say that at 1 o'clock, Ian and I are going to interview Heather Exner-Pirot. We're going to talk about something that needs to be talked about. Last week we had Catherine Swift on. She was really good. We're going to clip up some of those things from Catherine Swift. But we have a busy week this week too. We have Heather Exner-Pirot today at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow we have Jeff Moyse, 33 years in Aboriginal law and negotiated some of the treaties, worked with 6 different BC governments. We're going to have him on. We're going to talk about it. On Wednesday, what do we have on Wednesday? Wednesday. I know we have somebody on Wednesday. Thursday. Oh yeah, we have Joseph Barbudo coming back. Economic winter. Joseph Barbudo coming back. Talking about economic winter in Canada. Seems to be getting colder and colder. Thursday, we have former Finance Minister from the CNBC, Selena Robinson, coming to talk about the BCC budget. And then also on Friday, we have a real treat for Ian there. We have from his former homeland, Lois Perry is going to join us. We got times mixed up last time. We're going to talk about net zero. So we got some really good guests coming this week. Great shows coming. And we're trying to do more and more and better every day to bring you some of the best in Canada here. Experts that are actual experts as opposed to the experts that they bring on that tell narratives. I guess I should have quotes for our experts, right? But yeah, we would love to have Melanie Jolie on. We invite most of them on. They don't even answer our emails. And we are accredited media according to their own media scheme that they have going on. We disagree with it, but it is a scheme they have. It's absolutely wild. If you could share, like, subscribe, and you can put this on your Facebook right now, because our Facebook is currently blocked by the Online News Act. So if you could share this on your Facebook, that would be appreciated. We're going to get into some of our other news here, though. Francois, you like Francois Philippe Champagne? Francois Philippe Champagne, a federal judge has faulted Francois Philippe Champagne for disobeying a court order. In a tax case, the minister's office and CRA failed to comply with the 2025 order to disclose emails and memos regarding treatment of a Jewish charity. Rules do not apply. Orders of the court must be obeyed, wrote the Justice David Stratus. Minister Champagne staff and agency executives must conduct further search for certain documents. The filing should be marked as urgent. Isn't that crazy?
Such a nightmare. Trying to click on this door here. It's fucking not happening.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if our orange-hued friend south of the border was ignored this Friday. I can imagine CBC would be somewhat perturbed.
Wow. And then this one here even more so on like what's going on in with our institutions. Remember these institutions you're not supposed to criticize. Well, listen to this. The two RCMP union officials quit alleged election interference and scathing resignation letter. What will happen? What will come?
I need more time.
And this is within their own unions here. And there's a separate court filing that alleges $3.39
Am I getting caught up on that? They didn't fucking do anything with their hit boxes, anything.
What has Canada become? It's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. And here's another one from Terry Newman, National Post, pointing this out here. Because we can't forget that Diana Fox Carney works for a bunch of like climate agenda groups, including Eurasia Group. That's also where Kevin Solomon worked, Gerald Butts worked. But Diana Fox Carney is also chair of PINIGO's Clear, a fund investing in climate adaptation and migration mitigation in Africa. Just wonder why we send all that money to Africa. In addition, she is advisor to General Atlantic's Beyond Net Zero Climate Fund, a senior advisor to the Eurasia Group.
I am not ready for that.
A strategic advisor to Technology Metals. And, you know, we just gave $2 billion to critical minerals. We don't even ask questions. Nobody asks.
Ready for that.
Brookfield, we had Catherine Swift on, and she said, you use that Mary had a little lamb, and everywhere Mark Carney went, Brookfield is sure to follow, or vice versa. Yet the Canadian media, not inquisitive at all. We haven't had a sausage roll for a while, but they're obviously getting fed sausage rolls. Maybe we can bring up the golden sausage rolls, because they're riding in the plane, not asking the questions.
I need more time.
The sausage rolls.
This is also like, this was a little bit of, this would have been a bit cheeky once upon a time, believe it or not. This is how insane environmental extremism can be. But she is, it's a fund that invests in climate adaptation. for a long time, people that talked about adaptation were shunned in the sort of the more pious corners of the climate religions, because adaptation was like, no, you're giving up then. The world's gonna end and you wanna adapt to the end of the world. What we need to do is immediately stop driving cars. And there was like a bit of conflict between those two groups, so maybe she's on the right of the climate religion. She's on the right wing.
Just fall asleep.
And the Liberals dismissed petition aimed at holding MPs to account for untruths. You will be held to account. You'll go to jail on social media. But a petition signed by tens of thousands of people is calling for federal politicians to be held to account when they fail to tell the truth has been dismissed by the Liberal government.
And defending it, McKinnon's like, defending this decision to dismiss it. You start talking about things like
it's
free
fucking
speech.
Game, bro.
You don't get any.
The Liberal Party is well known to love and enjoy.
This show is really about contrast. We're showing you the contrast between what the elites are getting, what the rest of Canada gets, how your freedom of speech is curtailed, and yet they're not even held to account for telling lies. They're using nice words, untruths. What's an untruth? What's another word for untruth?
Whoopsie.
What's that?
We want to ensure that we can correct whoopsies. Yeah, I'm sure. Just like, the whoopsie of the environment minister who keeps saying that
zero
carbon has zero effect on the cost of food.
I need time to do that.
And then this one here is also something you need to pay attention to. More than 57,000 Canadians living abroad voted in the 2025 federal election, and that's according to Elections Canada memo. More expected next election as a passage of the bill granting citizenship to grandchildren of Canadian citizens. So we just farmed a whole new electoral. Isn't it amazing? Electorate. We've got more people to vote the way is required.
We can even get people that have never been to Canada. Maybe they can come. Maybe they can vote.
They can vote. They can. They literally can, because they're going to get citizenship if they're the grandchildren. Elections Canada noted increase in demand by international electors for special ballot voting kits. A total of 100,001 690 mail-in ballots were sent to foreign addresses last year, compared to 15,000 in 2015. They're figuring out ways to win. Ways to win. Who's the loser?
They talk about the beaver. This is very beaver-like. This is very industrious. They're working. There you go. They're working very hard to find the votes. If those cabbage slices are votes, then.
So the question is, which riding do they apply to? So if you're a grandchild, you just got voting rights. So do they just put them into the ridings that need those votes? How does the Elections Canada decide which riding the grandchild of somebody gets the vote in? Is it the riding that needs a few more votes? Or how do they decide where to apply that? Do you know what I'm saying? They've never been to Canada, but yet they get to vote in Canada's election. In Canada, it's a riding by riding. There's no vote for the president. Like, you could say that if it's a vote for, like a single person. So who's deciding which riding these people that have never set foot in Canada get to vote for? It's an interesting question, isn't it?
It says, I'm just reading on here, and it says, in this memo, it says that they have to have resided in Canada at some point before applying to become, to get on the ballot. So I would assume wherever they say they resided, that's where they would vote, surely.
I'm sure they'll check into that very well, won't they? They will very much check into the, how are you going to, you know what I mean? How would they verify those things?
Well, they can't even do the absolute basics. They can't even put the right address on mail-in ballots, as we saw in Terrebonne. So I wouldn't expect them to be able to do this.
They can't even count the ballot that was legitimate.
Yeah. And the Liberals are so... you know, morally challenged that they can't even do the right thing and enforce a by-election, voluntarily call a by-election. It has to go to the bloody Supreme Court, and they have to be told that's what they've got to do. So, you know, institutions perhaps not particularly healthy at this moment.
So they charge all these fees at the airport, you know, these security fees they added on, because they say that it's supposed to balance out. Cabinet last year pocketed 25% of the profit on mandatory security fees charged to airline passengers. And the government Canada committed to balancing revenues with air traffic security systems over time. The Treasury, though, collected surcharges totaling over $1.5 billion last year, but it only spent about $1.13 billion on security. A $368 million overcharge. Where did the rest of that money go? Climate agenda rice in Africa, or where?
Climate responsive.
Climate responsive.
Oh, sorry, not climate responsive. That would make sense. Gender responsive. That's what it was.
I even asked ChatGPT what that meant, and they couldn't even explain to me. What I said, what is climate, gender, whatever it was, and it's like, I have no idea. Just put words.
People that write it don't even know. They just know it means good thing. That requires lots of money.
And we also see that piece, we're not going to play it again, but Mark Carney said we're rebuilding, rearming, and reinvesting. The guy that says he hates slogans, he used to be the slogan meister in the Canadian Armed Forces. Yet here's another example of what's actually going on. What's actually going on. The reality, the contrast, the reality to the marketing. This is Canada's Arctic sovereignty, announced in 2007, promised operational years ago, 115 million spent. Today, I can't pronounce this, Nanishavik naval facility is still not open, stalled by bacterial corrosion eating the jetty and endless delays. And conservative defense critic James Bizan calls it a travesty. While Russia and China push into the melting Arctic, our Navy has nowhere to go to refuel. Put that bigger image up. This is what it's supposed to look like. No, the bigger image, sorry, the next image. There you go. That's what it should look like. That's the
snazzy.
That's the rendering of like this fueling facility, right? For fueling, putting diesel in. What it actually looks like, this next image here.
Hey, don't forget who gave
Can you make that full screen? Is that? Do we have the technology? Look, there you go.
You have the technology.
Wow.
Can rebuild him better.
And apparently, you can leave the image up for a bit. Apparently, the Nanishavik Civic Naval Facility on Baffin Island, announced on 2007 by former Prime Minister Harper and expected to be operating by 2015. Something happened around 2015. More than a decade later, an $114 million facility still sits unused. No plans to service ships in 2026 or beyond. And they're still working on the problem with consultants to understand the phenomenon to develop options to mitigate the problem of microbial corrosion.
I do not have the money.
So originally envisioned as an all-season marine port and jet cable airstrip to help assert Canadian sovereignty, not happening. The facility now consists of a site office, helicopter pad, wharf operator shelter, storage building, and 2 unheated fuel tanks. So the barge shows up. The window, the operating window right now is supposed to be, it's been reduced from year-round to 4 weeks in late summer. That's a bit of a trade-off. Year-round, 52 weeks to 4 weeks. When diesel fuel can be delivered by barge, listen to this, by barge, stored for at least 48 hours before samples are flown to Ottawa for testing. Once approved, the fuel can be used to resupply Royal Canadian Navy vessels transiting the region for about a month before cold temperatures causes diesel to thicken in the unheated tanks.
Nice.
Why not just keep it in the barge? Why do we need, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to literally pump it from the barge into these tanks and then send it to test it because the tanks may be contaminated. And then once it's okay, then you can do that. Why don't you just refuel the ships from the barge?
It only cost $114 million though, so not a big deal.
Has anybody lived up north? I mean, I lived up north when some of the heating, when it gets really cold. Like oil actually turns into like a jello. We used to have to bring our heating oil into the house, heat it up first with a wood fireplace, so that we could put it back in there so we could use the heating oil.
Wow. Very, very cold. Someone said something quite funny that I want to highlight. Let me see if I can find it. Something, oh yeah, don't worry. Carney has an MOU for that. Smiley face. And it's kind of like, somebody needs to do that skit, don't they? Where he goes to a restaurant or something and can't find his wallet. So he says, I'll write you an MOU. You know, like, I just want to see him like walking around in the world trying to use MOUs as currency. See what happens.
I wish you do that at the grocery store. Let me just write you an MOU. We had Catherine Swift on Friday. Really good interview. I advise you to go watch it. But she talked about that cricket farm that they gave millions of dollars to. The Liberals spent millions of your tax dollars so that you could eat crickets. Apparently nobody wants crickets. And highlighting a shutdown after 35 million taxpayer dollars yielded no edible product. Due to what? Why not? Low consumer demand. So they want to feed you crickets. Do you think the elites were eating crickets at the Junos there? You think they were serving crickets on the plane, Mark Carney's plane? You think they were serving crickets for the reporters in the back? No, just golden sausage rolls. $35 million. The program launched in 2022 with an $8.5 million federal grants and loans aimed at producing protein from crickets, but entered receivership in May of 2025. $41 million in debts. Slow clap.
But the thing about this that I find so funny is it's yet another one of those things. So we're tens of millions of dollars down on this. That, you know, we'll never get back. That's just lost money, lost opportunity. But once again, the project launched in 2022. I seem to remember like talking about it with people at that time, maybe even you, Jim. And it's that classic situation where we could have told you that for nothing. We could have told you that for free. Not $35 million, but for free.
We did.
We could have told you, just give us a ring. We will tell you. Just give us a ring and say, is this a stupid idea? You know, crickets. We'll say, yeah, that's really stupid. Yeah, don't do that. Don't spend $35 million on that. That's just really stupid, isn't it? For free. We won't even charge you consultancy fees. Just give us a ring. And indeed, go out into the street. Get out of the office in Ottawa. Go out into the street and just accost a random person. Just completely random person. And just say, do you think it's a good idea for us to spend $35 million to produce cricket food made from crickets? Random person. And that random person will tell you, no, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. Meanwhile, the federal government just does it and thinks it's a great idea. You know, how stupid are these people? How stupid are these people that are in charge of a country, an entire country?
The better question is, how stupid are we that we put these same people back in charge? Because one would have to wonder who got the money and where was the money used, because it is a dumb idea. Because if you went into the bank, and listen to this, you went into the bank today, me and Ian, let's say me and Ian went in there and went to the Royal Bank of Canada and said, we would like a loan for $35 million. We want to build a cricket farm so that we can sell you cricket for lunch. The bank would say, get out.
They'd be like, what? Cricket bats? Let's play cricket. Yeah, I'm sure people want to play cricket. It's like, no, the insects. Just get out of this building.
But Lady Janot there, I'm speaking this kind of globally, because like we voted for this. Not me personally, and I'm sure not you personally, but we did it. We, as a collective, did it.
The elected.
80% of all Liberal-approved drug dens are located within 500 meters of school. We've highlighted this many times, with zero age requirement. And they advertise to minors to come in, and this is good. And they can go in there and shoot up whatever they want.
I need more time.
of approved supervised consumption sites operating in Canada are within 500 meters of a school or daycare. This failure to protect children is a failure of the federal health ministry. And while I'm talking about protecting children, Canadians should know the federal government has no legal age requirement to access these drug sites. In fact, multiple sites openly advertise welcome minors.
That's good. Sorry, I just read a comment there. DM are they cricketeers or cricketers? I'm gonna go with the second part. Cricketeers. $35 million.
I am not ready for that. I need more time.
There's lots of protests going on this weekend here. I just want to show you this one here. Like, this is Toronto, along with a bunch of other protests. I think this is out of order, but I just showed you. But there was a bunch of protests in Ottawa. Huge, globalized the Intifada banners, like taking over the streets. We won't play it. Just play without the sound.
That might be a copyrighted bongo beat.
I need more time.
Exist, resist, return. Translate that into real human actions, and it does not look pretty for people of the UK. He's got caviars and flares. He's even got a high-vis jacket. he's gonna leave the Intifada in a very responsible and safe way.
I need more time.
The economy. Let's talk about the economy for a bit here. Let's hit the economy. Franco, giving you the bad news. Let's listen to Franco here. Take it away, Franco.
Prime Minister Montreal to cancel the upcoming politician pay raise and tax hike. Yes, in a couple days after all members of Parliament right behind me, they're going to be stuffing their pockets with more your money, another pay raise. On the very same day, the federal government is going to be making your beer, your wine, your spirits more expensive with another tax increase. It's a cruel April Fool's joke on you, dear taxpayer, where politicians take more money from you and stuff more money in their own pockets. Let's talk about that alcohol tax hike. Okay, every time you go to the pub, you get a great Canadian beer. Well, about half the price you pay is already taxed. The federal alcohol tax that is going up again is going to make their money more expensive, and it's going to hurt Canadian breweries, restaurants, distilleries, and the Canadian workers that work in those Canadian businesses. And by the way, it's an undemocratic tax hike. The federal government is raising the tax again without a vote in Parliament. That is wrong. And if these politicians think you aren't paying enough tax, they should at least have the spine to vote on the tax increase. Now, while they take more money from you, they're just putting more money in their own pockets. Another pay raise for MPs whose salary, base salary, is already about $210,000. Now, all members of Parliament should be speaking out against this raise. They don't deserve it. About 80% of Canadians oppose the MP pay raise. This automatic pay raise culture in Ottawa needs to stop. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney, he could end the MP pay raise and the tax hike now. He needs to do it because Canadians are fed up with taxes that make our life more expensive, and we're fed up with politicians who
Don't forget the industrial carbon tax also goes up. So alcohol tax up. Industrial carbon tax up from 95 to 110. And the MPs get a raise, which is a tax on you as well. That comes to you, so they have to raise taxes to give themselves a raise. And that raise, I think, is around from like 7,000 to 16,000 per MP. You'd think that they would be embarrassed to take all of them. When record Canadian Standard Food Bank lands and are being turned away food banks that build food banks. You would think that at some point, just your moral compass would say, I can't do it. In all good conscience, I can't do it. I cannot take from the taxpayer, I need more suffering.
And even morality is one thing, but even if you were a very smart Machiavellian kind of character, so you didn't necessarily have any morals, but you were very intelligent, you would look at the situation and you would say, right, this could potentially degrade Canadians' faith in the system to such an extent that it makes my life worse as a member of the leadership class. Therefore, maybe let's not do it. Let's keep the peasants, content. Let's not freak them out too much. Because anybody that's read any history at all really knows that if you continue to neglect the plebs, eventually the system will be overthrown. There'll be carnage. There'll be misery. You have to make sure that the average person is content and believes in the system, believes in you as the leadership. So it's not even just a moral question. It's also it's a question of like functionality. You want the system to work.
I have to agree with Cameron. Thank you for the contribution. You have to help us get this message out there because if more Canadians, if this was on the regular, on the mainstream media, this type of news was on mainstream media, they couldn't get away with it. The mainstream media in Canada, they're compromised. Whatever they are, but they're not putting out the information because they would be angry. I mean, these are basic facts. Like carbon tax is going up to a public that already can't afford the cost of energy.
I am not ready for that.
They're taking a raise when Canadians are suffering. And the alcohol tax is going more than half of the cost of your alcohol there. Your spirit. They just take more and more and more from you. And the food banks, record lineups of food banks. Those are lies. Those are absolute truth. And the food bank cutting people back because they don't have food to give out. Those are truths. Those aren't the truths that are being shared, though. That's the sad thing.
I am not ready for that.
That's not what's being told to the public, is it? Some of the public's starting to reach back, because Doug Ford in a little bit of trouble this weekend as well, but here's Carney with Doug Ford there and Olivia Chow doing one of his housing announcements, one of those housing announcements that means nothing, but listen in.
Our Build Communities Strong Fund. And last week, and this is directly relevant to today's announcement, we tabled legislation which will unlock $1.7 billion in federal funds to help provinces and territories lower the cost of home building. Minister Robertson and I want to work with our partners to optimize the funding to increase housing supply.
I need more time.
And I'm very pleased to see Premier Ford's
Justin Trudeau was checking wherever he went. Is this a sign of what's to come? Because like all these announcements on housing, we showed you where housing's at. They promised to double housing. It's actually less than it was. Less than it was. They created a new Crown Corporation for housing. Added another huge salary for somebody to head it up. Yet I think when last time we talked about this, they actually built last year. They built 9 homes with billions of dollars that were afforded to. Now he's doling out more. I mean, it's just billions and billions and billions of dollars. And the results, let's talk about the results. The cricket farm, where's the result for that? The naval base up there in
well, still at this. Look how well that's going. I mean, we all had to tighten our belts a little bit to pay for that gigantic subsidy, didn't we? And that worked out well. I mean, that's the serious money, isn't it? When you start to get into the subsidies to the car makers. This here, by the way, I've put it in the document from this same press conference, which aired as we were speaking. I think it came out at the same time. This is him being asked about Michael Marr, about forced labour. So maybe we should have a quick.
Good. Let's listen.
as it is in other situations where we're developing trade, and after we've developed the trade agreements.
Good morning, Prime Minister Liam Casey with the Canadian Press. A little hard to hear you back there, but wondering if you believe that there is forced labor in China. Do you believe there is forced labor in China?
Just in case it was hard to hear, I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to answer your question in a second, but I'm going to repeat the main element of today's announcement: 8.8 billion partnership, Ontario and Government of Canada, City working alongside, up to $200,000, up to $200,000 off taxes and development fees for homes in Ontario for people getting onto the housing ladder, plus all of the major infrastructure being built in huge levels in consistent partnership. In terms of, look, I followed this issue over the years in China and elsewhere. And there is evidence of child labor around the world. There's evidence and there's existence, I should say, of child labor and forced labor around the world. There is an absolute requirement for companies, I'll put it there first, to know who their suppliers are, the conditions of their suppliers. They have a reporting obligation here in Canada, public reporting obligation here in Canada for their supply chain. They have to comply with our laws, obviously, to simplify them or against any element of forced or child labor in any element of the supply chain of goods that are imported into this country. And China, there are parts of China that are higher risk and therefore need to be dealt with, yes.
Hey, good morning, Prime Minister. This is a question for you, the Premier, and the Mayor.
That's good. So no answer. No answer. That's
Pretty much a good answer.
Covered it.
He made sure to show how seriously he was taken by
some
that
parts
cheeky
of China.
propaganda
Some
point.
parts of China have
We're
child labor,
building
but
this
child
many
labor's
homes in
everywhere.
Ontario. No, we're talking about slave labour, and we're talking about one of your MPs being a defender of the Chinese Communist Party. Our adversary, our principal adversary, according to
had a pretty broad
that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about your stupid gimmick in Ontario.
Commie buddy, yeah.
We're talking about something real. But no, decides to detour for that. But then also, even his answer, if you read between the lines a little bit there, that concords somewhat with Michael Ma's, which I doubt Michael Ma wrote, Michael Ma's statement where he said he was actually talking about Shenzhen. And he said some parts of China, you know, Shenzhen and Xinjiang are like thousands of miles separate.
Some parts of China
very,
hate the fact that
very different. Xinjiang is the top.
happens all over the world.
So he's almost like he's saying that Michael Ma was right there, probably because the PMO wrote that statement. But he's like saying, oh no, it doesn't happen in Shenzhen, which is where they assemble cars. It doesn't happen in manufacturing sort of heartlands. Maybe it's happening in Xinjiang, but that isn't what Michael Ma was talking about. Read the Canadian press. The Canadian press tells you. You know, they're clever folks, aren't they? They've already told us that he absolutely did not mean Xinjiang.
So is a phone call after this before the 8th? Is that okay? President Xi, is that good?
I need more time.
You okay with that?
I honestly though, even though the fact that he mentioned the word China there might get him into a bit of bother. You know, he told us, didn't he?
He's trying to walk
us that Xi Jinping doesn't like it when he. Like, that's one of their rules, isn't it? For having a relationship with China, you don't talk about China. Or you speak to him. You speak to him first, and then you can talk about China. Unless maybe they've had an emergency call at the weekend and said, "Look, Xi, buddy, you're gonna have to use the word China." Okay. And maybe he was given permission. I don't know, but still, like he's treading on eggshells, isn't he? He's so afraid, and yet that's the kind of careful language and almost like avoidant language that we've not seen the Liberals employ when it comes to talking about our greatest friend, ally, and protector, the United States. Instead, with the United States, it's, you know, say whatever you want. Open season. Just get going.
Daggers and hand grenades. Yeah, daggers and hand grenades, and with China, it's just like It shows you everything you need to know. It shows you everything you need to know.
We need more time.
Yeah, and just like the other thing, just like French, man that can't speak French versus Liberal MP operating as an apologist for the Chinese Communist Party. Which one of those is taken more seriously? Yep, bloke that can't speak French. And then here, which country are they more afraid of insulting and offending? Is it China, our primary adversary, or is it the United States, our primary friend?
And China sells us 3 times more than we sell them to, so you have to wonder. Like, we have a trade surplus usually with the United States, and the other way around. It's odd that we're so kowtowing and catering to China.
And this is not the way to do it as well. I mean, they might try and intellectualize this and rationalize this and say, look, we don't force labor, but obviously, who do you think we are? We just want to do business with the Chinese, and this is how you do it. You've got to be clever. And like he said, our foreign policy is not going to be like idealistic like it was under the Trudeau regime. It's going to be very like hard-headed, and it's going to be very smart, and we're going to do business with all kinds of people. It's like, okay, I can listen to that. I can listen to that argument, and that is a rational argument. But that's not what we're seeing here, because the Liberal Party continues to make these moral statements about countries around the world, like Israel, like the United States. You know, like a lot of our allies, they're coming out and making all of these statements where they condemn these countries. So obviously, it's not consistent, and then it makes you see that China's been given special treatment. It's not just about doing business with China, is it? It's something else.
Thank you, Wanda Hall and Rad Richter, for the contribution. Glencore, they announced that they were going to suspend that $300 million investment to reduce emissions at the Quebec smelter. That's Canada's only copper smelter. And they said they're going to close it down. So now this came out. Federal and provincial governments now actively negotiating the rescue package with Glencore. Ottawa considering $150 million in financial aid to help fund a new pollution control system. I mean, they're forcing them to do these clean, green smelter things. And Glencore said this doesn't work. And now they're saying, well, here's some money. More Canadian tax dollars. Where's all this tax money coming? Instead of letting the industry just do its thing, the Canadian government is in there putting people at the begging bowl all the time. And then having strings attached to them. Here's some more bad news, though, in the mining industry for Canada. Rio Tinto is going to close its last diamond mine in Canada. It's not the last diamond mine in Canada. Rio Tinto is the last diamond. Maybe close it somehow. So yeah, so Rio Tinto.
This is the one that's underneath the lake, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of stuff underneath the lake.
Pretty.
There's go back, there's the summer picture of it. That's like the 4 weeks of the year now. And then there's the winter photo.
They must do like 24-hour shifts in the summer to take advantage of it.
So that's an open pit. So most diamond mines are basically like volcano craters, right? They're volcano, you know what I mean? Because after 23 years of operations, 150 million carats of rough diamonds produced before exhaustion on the reserve. Diviak, Diabec mine, diamond mine. So, in diamonds, tough market for diamonds though, too, right? Because most people, I shouldn't say most, a lot of people buying synthetics, a lot of people buying moissanite, lab-grown diamonds. You know, all the young ladies I see, they're all walking around with 3-carat diamonds. You know that. Because a real 3-carat diamond. Ready for that. Lab-grown diamond. But the resale market on those diamonds, like China, manufactures lab-grown diamonds.
Oh, come on.
Handy. But I mean, for most people, you can't really tell. You know, when you look at a diamond. Not many people walking around with one of those jeweler's loops. But
a lot of people do it for ethical reasons as well, don't they? Because obviously there's blood diamonds
Well, there was a big thing for Canadian diamonds. People were picking Canadian diamonds and stuff. Like I said, since the advent of lab-grown diamonds,
I am not ready
really
for
tough in the diamond market. And a lot of the movie stars made black diamonds very popular as well. Black diamonds. So diamonds, there's not diamonds, but clear diamonds were the most expensive, and then fancies came along. My friend ran a diamond mine.
I need more time.
And fancies came along, you know, yellows, pinks, and all these colors. They became the most expensive diamonds. And then all of a sudden, these black diamonds became mainly this drill bits, right? Because diamond drill. Hardest substance.
They use them in all kinds of very sophisticated manufacturing.
I need more time.
Yeah, I told my wife about this rock. So
I need more time.
There you go. There's some sites where you can just pick your setting. But Canada, a big aluminum producer too, and Iran attacks on aluminum producers, sending shockwaves to the metals market. So that's an opportunity. Canada has such an opportunity in minerals, minerals and metals right now. It needs to fast track some of these things, but Canada is not doing much of that. Copper, aluminum, zinc, nickel, all these need to be fast tracked. But two of the Gulf's largest aluminum producers came into fire from Iranian drones on Saturday. Aluminum rose to a 4-year high on Monday. About 9% of global aluminum comes from the Gulf. Canada has markets beyond the United States. To stop, like same as the copper. Look at the price of copper. Copper through the roof. You know, like most of the copper in Canada, when the media was whining about the copper tariff, most of the copper sold in Western Canada. It goes overseas. So it's a boom for places like Highland Copper. You and I talked about that a long time ago when people were whining, oh, the tariffs on copper. Copper's priced in U.S. dollars. If they push the price of copper up, guess who makes money? That's right, the copper market.
But this aluminium one is a really good, and yes, I am going to say aluminium. I'm sorry, can't say aluminum. Can't do it. But there's a really good article in Bloomberg. It was like an opinion article, or like an editorial, but it was very well researched. It was very interesting. It was talking about just how the Americans have shot themselves in the foot. As people were saying, I'm pretty sure we were saying it, everybody was looking at the aluminium thing, because they get most of their imports of aluminium from Canada, or they did, and they slapped this gigantic tariff on Canadian aluminium, and now Canada, we're just selling it to China, Asia, Europe, and the Americans, a lot of the manufacturers in America are sick about it. It's so stupid. I mean, there are times where tariffs are just like, they really do backfire. Because obviously the expectation was they were going to build loads of aluminium factories or whatever, aluminium smelters, producers, what have you. But that hasn't happened.
I was actually, when I'm driving back and forth to work now, I play with, or I talk to Grok in the car. And I've been playing a game on the periodic table. Quite the fun game. Guessing the periodic table. Go back and forth.
Based on what? The atoms and the atomic composition?
Yeah, you play a game where you guess
It's hard. At one point I get it like very hard.
We talk about temporary foreign workers and foreign students a lot, and then we played this clip here. Look at this fast food joint here in Ontario seems to have found a bunch of young kids, because they always say you can't get young kids to work in fast food. That's why we need all these temporary foreign workers. Apparently this place can.
But, I had 400. How the fuck?
Ottawa trying to slow the influx of foreign students. They crushed it instead, citing years of systemic fraud and worsening housing crunch. Ottawa's new caps on international student visas in 2024 still forecast about 437,000 approvals. Instead, in the first 6 months of 2025, only about 300,000 students applied. University systems which heavily rely on foreign students, like take Conestoga College. 87% of its students were foreign students. And that the president of that small college there was making over $600,000 just in his base salary. Just absolutely atrocious. Well, the community paid the price with high youth unemployment, less access to health care, high inflation, high rents. Well, one made out like these are the policies that benefit the few at the expense of the many. But how did they manage? That's the question there. How did this fast food joint manage to hire Canadian kids? Because that's the excuse for Tim Hortons and A&W typically is, well, kids won't work. They won't work. Kids, the youth in Canada categorized as, I think it's 18 to 24 or 16 to 24. That's youth. So 24, that's young men and young women.
People used to have a couple of kids at that point, didn't they, in their lives?
We're not going to beat. We're not
going to as kids.
We're not going to beat on energy too much right now because we have Heather Exner-Pirot in it. We're going to talk about energy extensively. But Scott Bessett said that the U.S. says it will seize control of the Strait of Hormuz. And they said there will be freedom of navigation, whether that's through U.S. escort or multinational escort. Supposedly they say they have a plan, but, you know, price of oil was up this morning. Well, I don't know what it is right now, but it was up over $100 a barrel. Yeah, it is $103 right now. West Texas Intermediate at 103, and the one that for us here in Canada, here Western Canadian Select at 87.29. Yet people like Avi Lewis say, don't want none of that wealth here for Canada. None of that. We're going to have none of that. But
this is like, I was a little bit concerned about the Strait of Hormuz. Can't really see how to break this impasse. Lots of other people, very, very scared. Lots of very serious people. But Eric Doherty here says, Trump has a plan, ! So, anyone that was worried, forget about it. Trump's got a plan.
Here's the Wealth Symbol put out this official Trump taco index and shows you when Trump backs off, and showing you that the pressure on the bond market here and the bond yields, and that if that's the case, then it should be any moment now. But we shall see, though. But we're entering into the second month, right? It's 4 weeks old now. This global market, a little bit of stress in the markets for sure. Lots of talk on, you know, like in Alberta, that MOU, that deadline passed there, that they were supposed to get an MOU signed there with Alberta and the federal government. And there's a lot of push from the U.S. to get that pipeline going south. And there's a lot of push on Danielle Smith not to sign any carbon capture thing, including from the likes of people like Enbridge, and say it's not profitable to be allowing $20 to be skimmed off the barrel, that there will be no money left for anybody to make money. So why invest billions of dollars if it's just going to end up in the hands of companies like Brookfield that take the profits and don't take much of the risk? I mean, you think of the risk that goes in. The Enbridges have to build the pipeline, spend billions of dollars, and then the carbon capture companies like Brookfield just say, oh, it's done, great, so $20 a barrel. Do you know what I mean? What did they do? What did they build, right? Other than, thanks for showing up. And this is BlackRock saying the world could go two ways here on oil. And he gave out two futures. One leads to $40 in oil, which is, you know, we've talked about that before. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, running in one of the biggest hedge funds in the world, or funds in the world. He says if it normalizes and Hormuz reopens, oil will go back to $40. But if Iran remains a permanent threat, it could be at $100 a barrel. I mean, on one side, that's great for Alberta, if we get it out of the ground. On the other side, it's horrible for most of the population, because energy is the most important thing to a prosperous economy. And in Canada, we have all this potential prosperity. That's a good way to say it. We have potential prosperity that's locked under bureaucracy. And then you see Avi Lewis there winning the NDP. So there's another layer, like that he's another threat to prosperity, because he says no to unlocking that potential. You have the Liberals that just layer more and more bureaucracy on top of that. You have the David Eby's blocking access. You have special interest groups. You have First Nation groups. You have all these groups that are blocking that prosperity. And the majority of Canadians have said in polls they want those pipelines. Yet the majority of Canadians are what you would say disjointed, and the media not pushing the right message. And if media would tell the truth, there would be a lot more outcry. But yeah, someone just saying $1.70 in oil-rich Calgary today. $2.05 in Victoria. I saw 157 as I was driving in here this morning in Kelowna. 220 or something for diesel, though. Diesel's just punishing.
Which is used by the most useful.
Well, that's the food
vehicle
system right there.
in society.
That's the food system right there. That's the tractors. That's the transport trucks. That's the ocean-going vessels. That's the trains. That's anything that moves, transport. It's all by diesel. 231 in Victoria. 220 in Nova Scotia. In an oil-rich, energy-rich nation. I did 2 interviews this weekend, too. I did an interview with Harman Bangu, MLA, Surrey, I think Langley, Surrey Langley. We talked about energy. And I also interviewed the interim leader, Trevor Halford. I believe his is Surrey White Rock. And Gavin Dew, Kelowna Mission, MLAs. We talked about energy as one of the things, so too, as well. And our relationship with Alberta. You can watch those. We did lots of interviews on the weekend. We typically don't, but they made themselves available, so I wasn't going to turn it down. Never one scared to work. But more energy is being unlocked in the United States of America because they recognize that energy is everything. And it says that they have 600 million barrels locked offshore. It's kind of like the North Sea with the UK. Locked offshore in California, blocked for 11 years by environmentalists. And then Trump just signed an executive order under declaring the Defense Production Act and instructed Chris Wright to bring that back online. Yeah, we won't play that clip, but anyway, they're going to bring that oil back online here. We got some stuff in the province here, provincial stuff. This is we're going to have Catherine Swift back on, maybe even make her a regular. She was great. Catherine Swift there talking about Ontario's 2026 budget being presented as steady, responsible, reassuring. And she said, in a closer look, that's a different story. Maybe we can have her on just talk about the Ontario budget. But we can talk about, the temporary foreign workers and the foreign student program too, and what it does to employment here in Canada.
That was the main subject that we didn't discuss in the immigration. So yeah.
Yeah, we got to talk about immigration with her. And lots of protests for lots of anti-Doug Ford protests this weekend. We got a couple of little clips here to play from Doug Ford. He loves to be popular, like Doug Ford not getting the popularity he thinks he always gets. So got a couple small rallies out there.
People have a hard time trying to get their chance together.
That's good. I think there was Santa Claus was there. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Greetings. How shall I guide my Use it well.
And then we just got another one.
How
We'll
about
play the clip though. With this, like, Peace and Greenbelt promise, no more Ford.
Fuck the Premier.
And then another one here with
the Premier's cooked.
The only Ford I want is affordability. I mean, that's the big one where people are really wanting to be able to buy groceries and put gas in their car. I mean, it's the kitchen table stuff, right? That's what people want.
That's all people want.
And then I guess there were some Marxist agitators with temporary migrant workers plotting strikes and protests and going to Doug Ford's home.
Marxist migrant groups.
And Toronto has approved city-run grocery stores in a 21-3 vote. This will be interesting to see what that looks like. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Well, it might, finally finally answers the question. It finally scratches the itch that they have. Let's see what it looks like.
And I don't even need to play it, but we'll talk about Nishi after. But we were supposed to have an interview today with none other than Daryl Jones here. He's former president of Save On Foods here, but he threw in the towel, and he's now supporting Caroline Elliott for the leader of the Conservative Party of BC. So I guess he's scared of our interview. Hey, he was going to be on with Renee Merrifield and I today, I think at 11 o'clock. But Daryl Jones throws in the towel, scared of the tough interview.
They're dropping like flies, aren't they?
I think we're down to 5 now. Peter Millibar, Caroline Elliott, Ian Black, Warren Ham, and Carrie Lynn Finley. I think that's what's left.
What about, what's his name?
Daryl Jones just dropped. Harman Bangu dropped.
Yuri Fulmer. Did he drop out?
Oh, Yuri Fulmer. Yeah, no, he's still in. So it's 6 left. Yeah, he's 6 left. So far we've got the interviews with 4 of them. Yuri Fulmer and Caroline Elliott have not responded. Curious. Alberta looking for some cash too, because they said they have immigration causing some issues there. So this is Chris Sims. We interviewed her in the past. Let's listen to her. They're talking about going after things to tax. Let's listen in.
Albertans are being hit with some sneaky tax hikes in the wake of this terrible provincial budget. Wanted to highlight a few of them for you. First off, there's going to be a brand new tax, a 6% new tax whenever you rent a car.
I need more time.
Yeah, that is not good. Around 80% of people who rent cars and use hotels within the province of Alberta
Can you just fuck off 5 fucking seconds so I can teleport to where
according
I need
to industry, they say that around 80% of the people who are lodging here in the province of Alberta, staying in a hotel, or renting a car, they're by and large fellow Albertans. So this notion that the province can just hike its tax on
right
hotel
next to your
stays
notices where it
and
says this
create
is
a
about to
brand
expire
new
and this
6%
amount
tax
of time,
on rental
put a
cars,
fucking little
and
icon
the
that
only
you click on
person
and
being
teleport there.
mugged is a tourist
Fucking
that you'll never
nightmare.
see again.
I need time to do that.
Nope, that's not true.
that
Lots of
a
people rent
wild
cars for
idea?
different reasons, including for work, insurance purposes, or if they've been in a car crash. So, they're getting a tax hike. Also, think about all the times that an Alberta family or an Alberta worker will stay in a hotel. So, if you're trying to drive the kids up to Edmonton to go to West Edmonton Mall, or you're taking an annual trip into Edmonton to watch an Oilers game, or you want to go watch the Calgary Stampede, or look at the dinosaurs
Does
in
this take me to the
Drumheller,
right spot?
or
Am I
go
clicking
on
on
the
the
rodeo?
Why is it taking me there? I'm trying to click on the... Why would I have that fucking highlighted?
I can remember going to Houston. I was going to take a job down there a long time ago. Before I
What is going
I'm
on?
actually going to take a job in Houston.
This game sucks. Bad cough.
I got to travel to 6 different countries in the world.
It's over. I missed it already.
Consolidating financial statements.
Here when it
would have been amazing. Actually. Great for me, not so great for the family. I was younger then.
I have to wait another half.
I need more time.
And it was great for me, but as I was leaving, I stayed down there for a week. They paid me to come down and make sure I really wanted the job.
Sick game, bro.
And as I was paying for my car rental, and I factored my...
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was in the other section, so me killing that guy didn't make a difference.
And it was
because I
double
would
that.
have to go
And I'm
and
just like,
extract
oh, it's got to be a
and then
mistake.
come
How
over
can it be?
Right, yeah.
And the lady said...
Sick mechanics.
Tax.
Fucking awesome.
I said, tax? That much tax? Like double? And she said, yeah, we need a new stadium here, and we didn't want to pay for it, so you pay for it.
I wish I caught this game an hour in me playing so I get my $9.
Oh, crazy.
What a fucking piece of garbage game.
You want crazy? You want crazy? Why are all the elites in Canada crazy? This is Jan Arden. Listen to Jan Arden. Hey, she's going to swear a little bit, so... You know, if it offends you.
Hey, Alberta. Hey, you bunch of fucking separatist wackos. How you doing? Feeling good about yourselves?
You're an embarrassment to this country. Everything you have, everything that you have enjoyed, cherished, and benefited from comes from being part of one of the greatest countries on the planet. You guys have your heads so far up your asses that you obviously can't see what pricks you are. The way you are treating Indigenous people, the way you are treating your fellow citizens, your fellow Canadians, you guys are a bunch of creepy little pricks. Alberta will never separate from Canada. It's never going to happen because people like me are going to stand up, throw their shoulders back, and keep fucking yelling.
That's good.
And keep
That's
staying.
good.
Yeah, nobody cares.
What is literally wrong with you?
What a lovely person.
You think that'll keep people saying, oh yeah, oh, you know what, I was on the fence. Man, good thing I listened to Jan. Brought me right back.
Good job I listened to the crazy lady on the internet.
Nobody gives a shit.
Come back if
We're
you
doing
need
another
the floor.
Canadian Tire fucking special, bro.
Nothing like an elite telling you how ungrateful you are, eh? That's amazing. This is what the elites jam down your throat. Don't forget the people like Jan were telling you that you can't drive in your car while they jet around the world. And this guy was big into it. Larry Fink was the CEO of BlackRock, or is the CEO of BlackRock. He was also the chair or the co-chair of the Davos thing where Mark Carney's storied speech was doled out there, or orated, I should say. Larry Fink on the woke era. And Larry Fink also voted many shares in many companies, forcing them into ESG. And let's listen to Larry Fink
that'd be
now.
sick to chill on the beach with your cat.
Do you believe the woke era a failed experiment? The ESG, the DEI, the kind of push for that. When you talk about things now, you talk in a practical sense, what we can do, what we can get done. Looking back at that, how do you see it?
Society moves, the pendulum moves all the time. In BlackRock's cases, you know, we are responsible for managing money for everybody. And even today, as you said, maybe these, you know, renewables are less talked about it. I can tell you right now, we have many investors worldwide are investing in renewables, trying to emphasize solar and other things like that. They're trying to. We're working with Occidental Petroleum right now to building the best carbon capture factories in Texas right now. So, do I believe the pendulum 5 years ago was too far? Yes.
You do.
Do I believe
6
we're more
times, bro. How about you do it 3
I'm personally
times?
more
That's
pragmatic too.
6 times, you gotta wait half
Do
an
you
hour.
think BlackRock pushed some companies a little bit further left than you thought?
Yeah.
It was never
3
our
hours.
intention because our job is to be, I got to be a fiduciary to everybody who gives us money. Our responsibility, Brett, is to making sure if one of our investors wants to invest 100% in hydrocarbons in Texas, I'm investing 100% of the money in Texas.
Yes.
But if another state fund wants us to invest in, let's say, all green energy, we're going to do that. It's their money. But today, because of AI and the overwhelming need for power and electricity, it can't just be one way right now. It can't just be hydrocarbons. So if you see what China is doing right now, China is rapidly building more nuclear than any other country in the world. They have the largest solar fields in the world, yet they're the biggest importer of gas and oil.
That's good. That's good from Larry. Yeah, Larry, you were part of the problem, Larry. Like, you were forcing companies into this ESG. You're forcing them into this climate. You're standing on the stage, pushing this down people's throats. Yeah, you were part of the problem. And now you're pushing back because the government in the United States says you can't, by default, vote people's shares. They want you to get permission to vote for the shares, and they're pushing back. That gave them a ton of power. You gave money to manage, and then you just gave them the proxy. So you voted a lot of ESG stuff.
I need more time.
But even, you know, you're talking about how he's done the U-turn, how he's flip-flop. Even in that interview, in that very short, you know, time of him speaking that, he was like going back on himself, contradicting himself. He's clearly a man that doesn't really know what he thinks, or he's at least not comfortable letting us know what he thinks.
He's trying to straddle the road, right? He's trying to do like Mark Carney. I'm pragmatic, but at the same time, he's trying to straddle. When they know in the United States right now, it's the same as China. If you get energy out of grinding up Canada, they're going to do it. It's like California, they're going to get the oil coming back out of California offshore. They're taking it from everywhere. Fracking is like the monster for the United States. Fracking, Canada, Abbey Lewis, and they don't even want LNG. So what would they do with fracking? And what would they do about oil?
Well, I mean, the reason to do it, I think, to saying, is for things like AI. Whereas Abbey Lewis made sure to take a swipe at AI as well. He just doesn't like the modern world by the sound of it. So
Canada would be what John Horgan said. A bunch of mud hutters, and that would be the world in Canada. You live in a mud hut, and
we need more time. You get your biomass allowance once a month, which can be dried dung.
This getting a lot of attention in a lot of American media, and of course, you know where the Canadian media is. And we should reach out to Skate Canada to get somebody on and see what their position is. But this is the IOC there, just kind of explaining their position here in a press conference. And I think it's important to listen to the polarizing issue from so many in Canada and the United States and in the world in general. Let's listen from this IOC press conference.
So when we asked the working group to review the state of the science, including the developments since 2021, and they reached consensus that male sex confers performance advantage in all sports and events that rely on strength, power, and/or endurance. And that to protect fairness in such sports and events, as well as safety, particularly in contact sports, so combat, collision, and projectile sports, that it would be necessary and adequate to base eligibility for competition on biological sex. And that the most accurate and least intrusive way currently available to screen for biological sex is by screening for the SRY gene. Furthermore, they let us know that sex and gender, what they defined as was defined before, they informed us that sex and gender is distinct from gender identity. Sex and gender are distinct from one another, and that testosterone levels in healthy adult males are 15 to 20 times more higher in circulating testosterone than healthy adult females. So testosterone levels do not overlap between the groups. And the gap in testosterone levels exists in both general and elite athlete populations, so that males experience 3 significant testosterone peaks in utero, in mini-puberty of infancy, and beginning in adolescent puberty throughout adulthood. So consistent with those higher circulating
It's almost like listening to sort of scientific breakdown to prove that water is wet, isn't it? It's just like taking it deadly serious. Like in the molecules, hydrogen, oxygen, that we are confident, 99% confident that this is indeed wet. Okay. We figured something out that pre-human species understood. So we're talking like several 100,000
that
years.
highlights
We figured
that,
that out.
But that highlights how the media, both sides of the war in the world, has turned this issue into something that just baffles.
I need more time.
And now they're pushing back on it. And you're seeing the media, which way they're actually leaning right now. You're seeing, like the Canadian media using a sign over this. And Nishi, I didn't put it in there, Nishi saying that he still supports the opposite, and then also
transgender for everyone. I think that's what you were looking for.
Yeah,
and the Donald Trump. That's the way to describe it.
Skate Canada still boycotting Alberta for what Danielle Smith said. And she was vilified by the Canadian press, the mainstream Canadian press, vilified, demonized, called names like Nazi and stuff like that. And here it is. Where's the apologies for Danielle Smith? I'm sure they're lining up to apologize.
She was attacked so vociferously, wasn't she, when she brought out that suite of policies? Which I remember listening to her speech. I just started thinking, blimey, she's like really treading on eggshells here. She's dipping her toes into it. And And that, even that was deemed as like way beyond the pale.
Our friend Marco Rubio, we're going to reach out to Marco to get him on the show, because right here we're going to use Marco Rubio's message. This is a message to Abby Lewis. Listen up, Abby. This is for you.
To be a sense that perhaps President Trump would be happy with a win, which would only entail an economic deal.
There's a sense. Where do you get that sense from?
Well, there's a lot of reporting that
There's a lot of fake. All right. No. Any reporting on Cuba that you didn't get from me or the president is a liar. Because they're the only people working on it. Okay. I'm just warning you guys. All these sources that are pitching you on Cuba don't know jack. Okay? They're not in the mix. I promise you. They don't know what the hell's happening. Yeah.
Would you be okay with economic deal?
Look, Cuba's economy needs to change, and their economy can't change unless their system of government changes. It's that simple. Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country? Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country run by incompetent communists, which is even worse than communism? The only thing worse than a communist is an incompetent communist. And so their system of government has to change. They will never be able to develop economically without those changes. Economic changes.
No. Did you hear that, Abby? Who's going to invest in a country, right, with incompetent communists? We need to get the owl. We need to get an owl. Desert fox. We need to get an owl, not a beaver. No, not the beaver. You can't use the beaver for that. Man. You got to get the owl. And it says, whoo, whoo, whoo. We need an owl. Put that on the list. We need an owl. Because right here, this.
I love how he just did a beaver instinctively.
The beaver. Beaver gets the call.
Animal, wildlife.
But the message. Can you play just the end of that clip again, just for Abby Lewis, just one more time? Just at the end there when he talked about who's going to invest. Just right there. Abby Lewis. Just so you get it.
System of government changes. It's that simple. Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country? Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country run by incompetent communists?
I am not ready for
Are you listening? Abby Lewis? Are you
But the answer is, from what I've gleaned, what I've learned from these people, even the NDP and on the fringe left, the answer is, we'll just tax. We'll just tax billionaires. We'll tax the rich. In fact, that's what one of the signs was, wasn't it? One of the signs they were giving out at the NDP
But the rich will
conference.
leave. The rich are leaving already. The rich are leaving. We showed you that. 40% have already left. And the rest are making plans. I talked to so many people. People are leaving. So who's left then? There'll be no industry left. You have government workers. Government workers who need money from taxation. Who's left to tax? You're going to have to tax yourself.
I need time to do that.
Rubio spells it out for you. Just
as a racialized person, I don't think that I should be taxed, actually.
Right. So then you'll decide who in the line, who in that line will pay the rest of the tax. Who in the line? When we get to, and then it becomes when that lineup gets less, and then you got to decide on if somebody has a blue card versus a yellow card versus a green card, who gets taxed first? Green cards, yellow cards. You see how it works? Again, Abby Lewis, listen to Rubio. Listen to what Rubio is saying. You hear it? You hear it? And here's another example of how our police force is not catching this. This was done by the FBI. FBI Los Angeles. Garamet Sidhu, 62 of Brampton, Ontario. Look at that cash. Can we do full screen on it? Canadian national pleading guilty to the leading criminal organization that during roughly 1 month span trafficked from the United States and Canada hundreds of kilos of meth and cocaine worth up to $17 million. Bingo jackpot, eh? Jackpot.
What was he doing there? He was trying to bring it from Canada to...
Well, he's taking it from the United States.
You're not getting one in paper for a point.
Look at that. Here's a picture of him there. He's a businessman, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.
I am not ready for that.
Christ, how much? Is that all blow? God damn, boy.
I am not ready for that.
That looks like a little bit more than 17 million. Holy shit, son.
Jeez.
To the media section there. Holly Doan. Two different departments, Global Affairs Canada and Immigration Canada, said they weren't going to respond to Holly Doan. But they're backing off now. There's some pushback. They quietly retracted it. That they will answer after they require journalists to work for outlets registered to meet similar criteria as the They know that if it goes to court. Because even Mark Carney said that the government has no business deciding who's a journalist and who's not a journalist. They're trying to prove a rebel out of
I am not ready for that.
Yeah, they do. And I guess, no, we won't leave you there. So here's one here that we gave Jan Arden some space, so we have to give the other side of Jan Arden a little bit of. Here's a song for Lara Logan here. A little song she wrote. Maybe you can put that post on read that. No, there's no music. I'm just saying there's the song title. Here's a little song. Elon Musk retweeted that and said that was a banger of a song. But I do want to share this with you. Today, though, apparently at Eastern time, at 8:24 Eastern time, Artemis 2 launches. I'm not sure if there's anything going on with that launch, but it's gonna circle the moon. It's gonna take a moon shot.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we'll have some clips for you of that as these astronauts go for a spin around the moon. America looking to build a moon base and then looking to go to Mars, building AI data centers like crazy, talking about energy. Canada.
Thank you. Goodbye.
What are we doing here?
So I couldn't enter.
I'm not
I
even
was stuck
sure.
in a part of the system.
We're the good guys. That's
Now
what
I
we're
can just
doing.
enter,
We're being the
right?
good guys.
I can just enter.
And if that means spraying squid ink on the forced labor, aka slavery, of the Chinese Communist Party, then that's what we're gonna do. If that's what it takes to be the good guys,
yeah, right.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yikes. Covering up for the commies.
We got a salute for you, though. We got a salute for you. We like to do the really big show salute. And getting the salute today is the CEO of SpaceX, Gwynne Shotwell. The rocket
one
put
of
her back up.
Elon's
You can put her up full screen. The rocket
boosters.
woman. Well, that's Rocket Man.
another
Well,
baby?
who's the Rocket Man? You know who the Rocket Man was, no?
Fill me up, Elon. Come over for a week.
Well,
Just
certainly
fill
the
me up
singer
all
of that
day
song.
for a good week.
But how about that for nominative determinism? Shotwell. And she's in the rocket industry. She shoots rockets up in the sky. She must have, it's destiny, isn't it? She knew at that point that, right, it's going to have to be rockets. It's either rockets or I'm going to have to be an Olympic shooter or something.
Well,
I'll use rockets.
Elon Musk is, he hires on DEI and he just looked up the names. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wait, Shotwell?
Do you know that Elon Musk says when you apply for Tesla and for his other companies, he doesn't want your fancy PhD and all your credentials, credentialism as Ian would say. He doesn't want all that. He wants to know the biggest problem you solved. Show him how you did it. That's all he wants. He doesn't care whether you have a degree or no degree. Show me the problem and how you solved it. Imagine that, eh? He's from Missouri, as Catherine Swift said the other day, from the Show Me State. Show it to me. Show me the proof. Show me the pudding.
Show me the money.
Sadly, Tiger Woods not getting the salute as his second crash there. He flipped his
Yeah, why does Tiger Woods keep flipping
SUV
his
there.
cars? For someone who golfs so well,
And
he really
refused
doesn't
to
know how
do
to
a
fucking
sobriety test there.
Oh, he's wasted again. Listen, I was just a little bit wasted.
Poor Tiger.
Is that what the expensive
No,
lawyers
well,
advise
listen how
you
I
to
speak,
do?
I
I
sound
wonder.
just like Obama.
Refuse rather than take it.
So
I
let's
mean,
just call this
otherwise
a
why?
mulligan.
Why do you do it?
And,
Surely he's got
I haven't had.
good
I
legal advice.
don't have the money for an expensive lawyer, and I haven't had the the need to ask yet. So the goat drives like a maniac, obviously, because this is his second one, and the first one cost him his marriage. Remember when he crashed into the fence there?
No, the first one didn't cost
or whatever
him
was
his
he
marriage.
crashed and
Him fucking around on his
Was
wife
it a
cost him
ditch
his
or
marriage.
something there?
he lost some contracts. I think he got like a few of his sponsors bailed on him. I think you might want to look at where Britney Spears is and say, listen, do you really want to go down that road? You really want to go down
Why
that
does
road?
he put some of his fortune into Tesla stock and try and help get automation over the line? Then he can booze up as much as he wants and just fall asleep in the back of his cyber cab or whatever they call it.
You'd think he'd be driving a Tesla and the Tesla drive him home.
Yeah, at least that, yeah. I mean, that's less bad, isn't it, to do that drunk?
That's our show. We're going to be back at 1 o'clock. We're going to be back in like an hour and some minutes. Hour and 17 of those minutes. And with Heather
They're gonna be back in an
Exner
hour and
Perot. This should be a good